Hi everyone, so I'm not sure if anyone's even going to watch this, but usually I post videos of like little verses from the Bible, but I felt like there's no better way to read the Bible than from the beginning to the end, so I thought, why not post myself reading the whole Bible from Genesis to Revelation. So yeah, I'm going to start in Genesis chapter 1, so yeah, let's read. The beginning. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw that the light was good, and He separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness He called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. So this is the beginning, and God is creating the heavens and the earth. And the earth was formless and empty, so the earth was like nothing, basically. But God's Spirit was hovering over the waters, even in the beginning. And then when God said, "Let there be light," there was light. And God saw that this light was good, so He decides to make the light the day, and then when it's dark, He calls it the night. So this is the beginning of the earth and heavens and the creation of light, day and night. And God said, "Let there be a vault between the waters to separate water from water." So God made the vault and separated the water under the vault from the water above it. And it was so. God called the vault sky, and there was evening and there was morning the second day. And God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered to one place, and let dry ground appear." And it was so. God called the dry ground land, and the gathered waters He called seas. And God saw that it was good. So now that God has made the earth and the day and the night, He's now creating a vault between these waters. So there must have just been a lot of water on the earth, which there still is a lot of water on the earth, and God is making a vault in between these waters. So now there's water on top and there's water below. And He calls it a vault, and this is called the sky. So the sky is what separates these two waters. And this was the second day. And the evening comes first and the morning comes first. And I always find it interesting that it says the evening comes first and then the morning, because usually we think like morning comes first and then evening, but it's flipped around in the Bible. And also, it's interesting because God calls this vault sky, and there's water above it and water below it. But I don't think people usually think about water being like above the earth, but somewhere there must be water above the sky, because this is what God says. And God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered to one place, and let dry ground appear." So now God is creating ground with the water. So the earth must have just been water at the time, but now dry ground is appearing for the first time, and this is the second day. Actually, I think we're going into the third day now. I'm not sure, we'll see. Then God said, "Let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants, and trees on the land that bear fruit with seed in it, according to their various kinds." And it was so. The land produced vegetation, plants bearing seed according to their kinds, and trees bearing fruit with seed in it according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning, the third day. So this is all part of the third day. The dry ground has appeared. Now there's vegetation, so there's like fruits and vegetables and stuff, and there's plants, and they grow from trees. Like a lot of fruits grow from a tree. So this is what God is creating, and it says they will have the seed in them, which I could be wrong, but I think that that's like true about like most fruits, is that they have their own like seed in them. So this is like about God creating the fruits and the vegetables and just telling us how He did that. And this is the third day. And God said, "Let there be lights in the vault of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark sacred times, days, and years. And let them be lights in the vault of the sky to give light on the earth." And it was so. God made two great lights, the greater light to govern the day, and the lesser light to govern the night. He also made the stars. God set them in the vault of the sky to give light on the earth, to to govern the day and the night, and to separate light from darkness. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning, the fourth day. So God is saying that he wants there to be lights in this vault of the sky. And I don't know, it's a little confusing because I thought the vault was the sky. But I think what God is saying is he's putting lights in the sky. And there's going to be a greater light to rule the day and a lesser light to rule the night. And I really don't know, but I think this maybe means the sun and the moon, because the sun is in the night, in the day, the sun's in the day, and the sun rules over the day, and it's a greater light, and the moon rules over the night, it's a lesser light. It's probably what this means. And the stars are also in the sky, so God puts them in the sky. And these lights do separate light from darkness, and God's already created light and darkness, but now he's really showing us how he created the different things on the earth that create that difference. And I don't exactly know what it means, but it says lights above the sky, where it says there will be for signs to mark sacred times and days and years. But I do know that the lights do show us different times. So if it's light outside, it's morning, or if it's dark outside, it's the night. So this is God telling us how he did that. And God said, "Let the water teem with living creatures, and let the birds fly above the earth across the vault of the sky." So God created the great creatures of the sea and every living thing with which the water teems and that moves about in it, according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and increase in number, and fill the water in the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth." And there was evening and there was morning, the fifth day. So now this is the fifth day, and after God created everything he just made, he's now creating beings to actually live on the earth. And there's birds that fly above the sky, there's animals inside the ocean, and this is the fifth day. Again, there's evening and there is morning. And these animals and all these creatures are made in their own image, after their own likeness. And God said, "Let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds, the livestock, the creatures that move along the ground, and the wild animals, each according to its kind." And it was so. God made the wild animals according to their kinds, the livestock according to their kinds, and all the creatures that move along the ground according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." So this is very interesting because now God's made all these animals and all these things to walk around the earth and all sorts of livestock and wild animals, but now God says, "Let us make mankind in our image, after our likeness." So if you remember, the fruits were made after their own kind, the animals were made after their own kind, but the humans, the mankind, was created after God's likeness. And it also says our image instead of my image. So it's very interesting because I think of later in the Bible, in the book of John, it says, "In the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and then the Word became a person, who is Jesus Christ." So it's interesting because Jesus is the Word of God himself, but then it also says the Word of God was God. So that's why Jesus is God and the Son of God and the Word of God all in one. And I think this is probably why it says our likeness, because God is, I don't know, it's very complicated, but it does say our likeness instead of my likeness, and I find that to be very interesting. And also, God is the ruler of all the humans, right? But the humans are the only ones who made in God's likeness, and they are to rule over the animals, and that is the job God gives the humans, to rule over the earth. And it's interesting because it's God is the ruler of humans, but humans were made after God's image, so they are the rulers of the earth. So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. We have just learned about animals and the earth being formed and heavens and everything, but now God is talking about mankind. And we haven't heard that Adam has been created yet. I don't really know if Adam has or has not been created yet. This could either be God telling us like he had a plan to make this like mankind, or maybe this is something that had happened after Adam had already been created and Eve. But this is the story of how God made male and female in his own image. It's very special because all the other animals and all these things were made in their own image, but human beings were made in God's image. It's so powerful. God blessed them, and he said to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it, roll over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, and over every living creature that moves on the ground." So like I was saying, God gave humans the responsibility to rule over animals, kind of like how God rules over us. And that's why we were made in his image. Then God said, "I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit and with seed in it. They will be yours for food. To all the beasts of the earth and all the birds in the sky, and all the creatures that move along the ground, everything that has the breath of life in it, I give every green plant for food." And it was so. God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. And there was evening and there was morning, the sixth day. So this is the last part of Genesis 1. It's only the first chapter, but we learned everything, how the earth was formless in the beginning, and it was created, and the waters, and the ground, and the animals, and the birds, and everything, and now mankind in God's own image. Male and female, he created them. And now, instead of saying God saw that it was good, it says God saw that it was very good, because all this stuff God has just created, and it's only the first chapter, and it's already told so much. And God saw this was very good because obviously it was amazing what God had created. And this has been the first chapter. This is only the sixth day, but then in the next chapter we'll hear about how the seventh day God rested and sanctified the seventh day. And yeah, thank you so much if you watched this video. This is Genesis 1.